Today I'm going to take a look at a signal strength meter and a center tuning meter. I noticed when I worked on this before, these things, even though I got like good FM reception, none of these basically are working, and neither in FM mode or in AM mode. So what I'm going to do then is just check these out real quick. And how I'm doing this now, I have of course my meter hooked up. It's in to check DC voltage, and right now I am just across the signal strength meter, or two terminals there going into that, and I should be getting some kind of a DC voltage, and it normally should move. If the DC voltage is missing, okay, it's not going to go ahead and move. And also it does not take very much to get these things to move. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't dial in. Of course, you have to put the receiver in FM mode. See if I can't dial in the channel. I can see that by right there. See, I'm getting something right there. So basically I'm dialed in right there. That signal strength meter should be moving, and it's actually not. So that is a problem. Now we'll go over to the center tuning meter. Let me go ahead and hook up the voltmeter. So now I'm looking at the center tuning meter, and I have the multimeter hooked up across the leads of the meter. My meter's in a DC position, and what happens here when you're locked onto a channel, then the voltage will be 0, and when you turn the tuning knob left or right, then you see the voltage climb up again. Now this is really low. Right now I'm reading about 16 millivolts, but it does not take very much to get these things to move. Let me go ahead and demonstrate here. I'm going to go ahead and turn. That's going down. Right there it's going up. I think it's this minus right now. And it's going back up. It'll go up, and it'll go up and down. Again, it'll be, if you have a station tuned in, the best thing to do is, like, if you have a loudspeaker, hook that up, tune into a station, and then try to watch the voltage as you're turning the tuning knob. So anyways, that's telling me right now I am getting voltage to the meters. So the problem is not with the with the circuitry or something like that. It's actually something's wrong with the meters. And just so you can see what I'm talking about here, I've got this old meter from a old boombox, a spare one that was laying around. You can see this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the tuning knob now. I'm just going across the band, and you can see the difference. This is responding. Again, as I said, it doesn't take very much to get these meters to move. So my problem is definitely the meter, and the same thing with the other with the center tuning meter. So I did decide to take the actual meter out and apart to see if there's actually anything I can do. Of course, in order to get it out of the unit, you have to take the wires off and remove the solder, because this goes through two slits in the back, and also there's a little plastic cover on here, and that was just held on with tape. Either remove the tape or cut the tape, and then this is this. Now we got there is like a little tab down here. It's got to come out, and let me see if I can't. This little tab holds that in there. And then we got the movement itself. the meter here. Now this is pretty delicate. This can be bent and broken really easy. All I'm going to do now is to try to get this thing to unfreeze. There's two screws here. They're flathead screws. They're really tiny. One in the front and one in the back. I got to put my magnifying glasses on and see if they've got any kind of Loctite or anything on there. If not, that's got to come off. Because the screw is really small, and you should get a, for that I'm using my best set here, which is are basically precision screwdrivers, and I'm going to go ahead and try to free this up. So that being said, let me go get my magnifiers, and here's my magnifying glasses. I mean, they're really dorky. I look pretty stupid having them on, but they work pretty good. So also I've got a screwdriver set up here. This is a little 1.5 millimeter screwdriver, and what I'm going to do now is try to back each one out a tad and then see what happens. I can't do this on camera because I got to get really close. This is an eyesight related thing. Also, again, your like my screwdriver there fits exactly inside. So that being said, let me go ahead and try that. I don't know if this can be seen with this camera, but it is getting a little bit spring back here. So I turned it about a quarter turn. I'm going to go on both sides one more quarter turn if I can, then I'm probably going to go ahead and leave it at that. So I did another quarter turn, and this is what I got here. At least I can get it to go this far. See if it's in the vertical. I might have to leave it as this, or we'll give another quarter turn and then let it be. I'm now working on the center tuning meter. I couldn't get the signal strength meter to work completely, because I didn't want to take these little tiny screws out too far. Even with the ohm meter hooked up, it still only moves a little bit, and I backed the screw off as much as I thought would be possible. So I'm going to go ahead and try this now, and this time I'm just going to go ahead and try the front. I don't want to go through the hassle of taking unsoldering this and then pulling this out. Try not to mess with this if possible. This mechanism here is real easy to bend or break. So I'm going to go ahead and try a half a turn. Just with the front, there's actually two screws. Let me go ahead and try that. They will increase or decrease the tension. So now, same thing with the center tuning meter. I am getting movement back. I think I did like one turn. So I'm not quite sure whether I want to be turning this anymore. I think I might just have to leave it like this. So I didn't want to take the pull that completely out there and then pull it completely out of the case and then see what would happen. So I mean, it is kind of working, and well, of course when I shut it off it should go back to the center position. Let me just shut it off. Okay, now that's reacting normal. Well, I think I'm going to try to go ahead and go from the back to and try the tension there, or I'll give just another quarter or half a turn, maybe see if it makes a difference here. See how high I can get this thing up here with a strong station. I mean, it's usable. So, yeah, let me just go ahead and give the front just a tad more. You don't want to do this too much because that's copper wire down there is coil wound, and it's almost like a spring. And if you take that screw out, it's all gonna unravel every which way, and you're never going to get it back together again. So I managed to turn it a tad more, and it really makes no difference, but the meter's of course usable now, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to do like what I did with the other one, take all of this out and then maybe make a mistake or something. So that being said, you have to be real careful when you do this. It's not for everybody. If you got a replacement donor unit, I'd probably go that route. But you can of course always give this a try. Just a little tiny turn at a time. And of course to put this back together, I just gotta use some clear Scotch tape and just tape the two parts together. And if it wouldn't have been the meters, of course, then I would have did some tracing. There's normally, say for example, in this receiver, you get the voltage for the center tuning meter and the signal strength meter. That's coming from the IC, and you can actually measure the same thing at the measure for voltage at the IC. Of course, it'll be a lot higher than it is down at the meter. And in between that, there's normally a diode that can be checked quite easily. I've had it before where the diode has been open, for example, and I wasn't getting any reading. Rarely will a IC go bad. One last thing I forgot to mention, you can also check these things with an ohm meter, but what you want to do, you just want to like momentarily put the test leads across the terminals here, the leads of the meter, just for a second until you get some kind of deflection. You don't want to burn anything out. See, am I getting anything here? Oh, there we go. It's okay. Not having correct contact. And then if we reverse, it should. This is the center tuning meter. It should go the other way. And it is. That's how it should properly work. If you ever notice, like we have no receiver and you shut your unit off, your center tuning meter, it'll rest in the middle again, and your signal strength meter, it'll go back down to 0. That's the actual way it should be. Anything else to add? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, if you're using the ohm meter, just momentarily put it across there. But you notice anyway, something's not right if you say, if you get a receiver and the needle's already pegged somewhere. The center tuning meter is already pegged somewhere. With the signal strength meter, if it's down to 1 or whatever it is on the left there, then that's that would be normal. But if it would be, of course, pegged all the way to the other side, that's not normal. And if you do go as far as adjusting these screws, taking the tension off here, that has to be done like a real little bit at a time, and probably best to do them both. And there's one in the back, but like again, for me, it was just too much of a hassle with this old El Cheapo receiver here. Now this is a signal strength meter out of a cheap boombox, and I have the ohm meter hooked up. And now in this case, it being a signal strength meter, you have to observe polarity. The needle's only going to swing when the polarity is correct, so you can momentarily touch it. There it goes, right there. And you don't want to keep this on again for a prolonged length of time. You just want to do this as quick as you can. In fact, we could even see here the resistance of the meter. I think it was, what was it, 600 and try that again, 600 and right over 650 ohms. Of course it would be open, and your meter wouldn't read anything at all. Or let's say if it read to 0 or real down real low, then it would be shorted. I think I really don't have anything to add anymore to this video. Thanks for watching.